Jay always had a reputation, I heard about it. And he was a great individual. He was very passionate for the sport and very passionate with the individual kids as well. He knew every kid and could bring out the best out of the different athletes. He truly could. And his energy throughout the club and managing the club was evident with, he used to put together newsletters and he communicated very well. And he was, everything he did, he lived for the sport.
But then when we lost him, nobody else could carry the ball like that, right? Not even close, and that caused, that was obviously it's a bit of a difficulty there, huge difficulty. So it was pretty tough to take.
I think they all know that he was a great coach, a great person, and very passion driven. But I think it's his passion and his drive towards the club, I think, is a big one. Like when Jay came here, I was 15, same with Dusty. I was in the Mountain Norquay ski team still at that time. We were struggling. It wasn't financially strong. We were losing numbers. It wasn't a very healthy club. And Jay started at the FIS level and kind of got us going. Put me on the Alberta team. Dusty followed shortly behind me. Put a bunch of other athletes on, and then he kind of moved into that role of program director. And I think that's why the club is now Calgary Alpine. And that's why it grew so much. He was out there, he was sourcing athletes for the FIS team so that they'd have, faster guys to train with, to race with. He was, motivated to get, grow those Nancy Green numbers. And he had huge goals for this club to really grow and become the elite club in Alberta. And, if people could have seen where this club was back in the late 90s and see what it is now, I think it would truly it's amazing, the transformation. And that's all because of Jay.
That's what made Jay a great guy to have as program director and coach, because he was so organized and he was really smart that he could handle all that stuff. Most other people, you couldn't even hope to have them handle half of that and do it well, but he was doing it all.
And even in the off season with his cycling and his triathlon, he was very, very passionate with that. But also too, that continued over the ski racing when he did his summer camps and organizing for the following season. He was always very much on top of his game to make the best for the club and the sport.
Great coaches in general, or leaders, not necessarily in skiing, but wherever you look. I think the one underlying factor is that the respect they earn and then the power they have for other people or athletes or whoever to buy into whatever it is that they're trying to do. And I think Jay was really good at doing that because you could see that he cared, you could see that he put in 100% effort, and it's one of those things that, as an athlete who's had a lot of different coaches and a lot of different experiences, it's a rare find where you find a coach that's really willing to go up over and beyond and to push himself and to push you, and it's really what would set him apart from a lot of other people. I think that's what sets great leaders and coaches apart, and he had those qualities and those attributes.
Everyone knows about Jay's passion. That was the one single thing that put him out there. It was so unique about him. He had just incredible passion for the sports that he was involved in, as well as the kids that he was coaching, and ski racing.
He knew that there was no shortcuts, there was no secrets in terms of other than just quality, getting the job done, putting the work in. And so I think that he was able to look at the goal, know what it entailed, and not procrastinate in terms of getting that job done.
He was such a perfectionist that you had to be perfect in the way that you did everything. Not from tuning your skis to how you eat, how you train, and being perfect at all the little things along the way. He truly believed that was going to make you perfect in the end. And he just got up every day, and that's what he lived by.
Really loved what he did. It was important to him, and it's something that there's no way you could tell him that he wasn't going to be a ski coach anymore and work with athletes. That was what he was put here to do, and it meant the world to him. And I think that's why he was so good at it, and I think that's why he was so passionate about it, and I think that's why he's so missed.
Really a believer that hard work made results, and he exemplified it by producing results himself, and he also proved it by pushing other people and getting them to be faster. Same thing goes with the ski racing. I think he did the same thing with his athletes.
Spreading what his message was, which like he lived to coach these youths, and he was so excited about coaching these guys every day and motivating for his athletes. And I'd get emails every once in a while of a picture of one of his athletes doing something phenomenal, like squatting an amazing amount of weight, or doing something on the hill that was apparently, and I have no eye for anything on the hill, but was apparently pretty amazing. And just his excitement for performance.
Jay's favorite saying was always, "It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of fighting the dog." And he truly lived by that, actually. Every day, he just put everything into everything he did with athletes, or whether it was his triathlon, and it showed. The results showed in the athletes, the results showed in his personal pursuits, and no one can ever say that he wasn't the most passionate, dedicated guy out there.
The biggest thing I think that made Jay so unique was his competitiveness, but he was competitive in a good, constructive, mutually supportive way. He'd work like the dickens to beat the pants off you, but if you beat him, he'd be ticked about it, but he'd look at you and smile and shake your hand and say, "Man, I gotta work harder to beat you next time," right? And he had competition, like good sportsmanship down, right? And so in that way, he was a great mentor and role setter for his athletes.
One time we're down in Colorado, we're playing basketball, and he just hated to lose, and we were beating him. We had him against the wall, and it was supposed to be a 15-minute warm-up basketball game, and it turned into a hour-long dryland basketball, and with a buzzer beater at the end, and he lost, and he hated it. And I turned that whole week. I mean, we had dryland the whole week, and basketball became really competitive in the group, even leading to one of the guys having to miss skiing the next day. So, you can't say competitiveness without thinking of Jay, really.
Inter-club sort of race we did was a 1,500-meter swim, and the way it went was that you sort of partner up, and one guy would be on the side of the pool and timing you, and then you'd reverse, and then the other guy would go. And so in our case, I was swimming first, and I went out there and swam, and Jay timed me, and when I finished, Jay was happy for me, but I could tell he wasn't that happy, because there was a level of competition, because we were friends, but we were kind of rivals too.
So I think that naming a bike race after him is basically naming a bike race after being excited about racing and athletic achievement, and I think that it was really appropriate to name it after Jay.
So after Jay passed away, a group of friends, we decided right away that we wanted to establish a scholarship at the U of C under Jay's name. So the scholarship is under some of the things that Jay believed and worked in. So it's for students who are either involved in track and field, cross-country running, triathlon, ski racing, or ski coaching, and and they all have to be enrolled in the Faculty of Kinesiology, which Jay's undergrad was in. So it's a $1,000 annual scholarship, and through the gracious donation from the community, we've been able to establish an endowment fund. So the scholarship is given out annually.
Energy was Jay.
He liked to have fun, and he liked to have fun with the people around him too.
One word that would summarize Jay is heart.
He would lead by example.
Underdog that always won.
Okay.
Driven.
Passionate.